Okay, welcome guys. Uh, if you excuse me, I'm on my end. I'm trying to make sure that Jason is showing, but yes, he is here alongside Clovis, and we're all here to wish you a happy Valentine's Day weekend.
Oh, yeah. Happy Valentine's Day. Hope you all can hear me.
Yep, you can hear if you can always hear Jason. Let me know. I'm not too sure what's going on my end or with Jason's camera. We'll figure it out. But yes, after unannounced break from doing live streams, we're back and here to celebrate the lovey-dovey time in February known as Valentine's Day. And this idea was inspired by a suggestion by Jason himself.
Yep. Um, I'll bring a little bit of context towards it, like to this live stream later on, like how it came to be.
Uh,
Unless you want me to do it now, I could do it now, but
well, well, I just want to make sure that Clovis said hi. Say hi, Clovis.
Hello, can anyone hear me? If anyone can hear me, type I don't know. Type skeleton.
Or type in word. Actually, no. Don't type in word multi-bot.
maybe type in brains. Brains. It's okay. Doesn't matter if it isn't gray.
The
Yep.
chat is silent, so that must mean that I'm not listenable. Although I can actually confirm on my mobile phone anyway.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not able to have two apps appear on my phone at a time. So I have no idea if anything I'm doing for this live stream, if anybody is actually hearing my voice right now.
I see Fairy Princess Valentine say that she can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, I just confirmed right now. I'm actually listenable, so I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. The big W asks if they're late. No. The thing is, I started this stream 3 minutes late because I'm not too sure what's going on with Jason's camera here. Why I still be able to like uh attach it to on my end on OBS the NDI source, but he just doesn't want to show up.
Well, I want to show up, it's just that the computer won't let me.
Uh, see if there's anything wrong on your side, Jason.
Well, the only thing I see on my screen right now is my face and both of you guys' icons.
Okay. I also suggest that you also have like the stream, like the page to stream itself onto a tab on your browser, if you could, that
Um,
is.
weird. When I installed Skype, I made sure to to in allow it to record video.
Yeah. And I was wondering if you have the NDI settings set up as well.
Well, NDI, I don't know what that is.
Well, basically you have to go into settings and then you go into Colin and advanced and make sure that NDI is allowed. I think
Uh,
that's the problem. I think I have to turn
I'm
on my
going through
end.
this right
Give me a
now.
second. I'll
By the
do it on
way,
my end.
someone in the chat asks, what's your opinion on Courage the Cowardly Dog?
I
For
love that.
me too. It's a great soap, and I should catch up with it. In fact,
Oh,
the creator is gonna be doing a live reunion just tomorrow.
oh, that's cool. I have the complete series of Courage on DVD.
Mhm. Yeah.
In one of the only six Cartoon Network shows to have ever been released in their entirety on physical media here in North America. The other
Yep.
five were the original Powerpuff Girls,
Yep.
Samurai Jack, the original Ben 10, Adventure Time, and Steven Universe.
hmm Okay. Let me just try something here. Give me a moment. Uh,
Uh,
okay. I think we could see now, Jason.
Okay.
Yep.
Fairy Princess Valentine. Unfortunately, I can't see your AVI. It's really small on my end.
I think it's Samurai Jack fan art. Am I right, Fairy Princess Valentine? Because I know that you're really in love with him.
Is my phone just too tiny? I mean, I'm sure I could probably see it on my computer, but the problem is that I have to log into a different account. Uh,
Yeah.
That's as much of Careless Whisper I can hum without risking getting this video into copyright trouble.
It's okay. I think if you're doing a cover with just your voice, you shouldn't get into trouble.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. If you guys could see Jason right now, but for some reason he's not moving.
so apparently
Okay.
it's
No.
not Jack. Okay, I'm gonna investigate this man.
Okay. I can see you moving now, Jason, on my end. Okay. So seems like everything is okay. So let's get this Valentine's Day special started. Uh, First how about we all give our general opinions on Valentine's Day itself. I'll start with how about you, Clovis?
My opinions on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, it's Jin from Tekken. Well, I did play Tekken when I was a lot younger, and I also played it I think last year a little bit, but not that much. Um, I like his Devil Jin form. It's pretty cool, but I think that's all I have to say about his character. But anyway, what was I gonna? Oh, okay. My opinions on Valentine's Day. For the most part, I actually feel kind of indifferent. I think that when it comes to not just Valentine's Day, but also a lot of holidays, but this especially applies to Valentine's Day, is that either people have some level of appreciation for it as a special event, or people are very cynical towards it. And whatever social status they are will kind of affect that. To me, I'm kind of more in the indifferent part where I can kind of I can appreciate why people like celebrating, but at the same time, it's not something that I'm personally that invested in as a holiday. But it can lead to some very amusing encounters, like the stories that sometimes people tell of Valentine's Day can sometimes be pretty amusing. There are also, I guess, Valentine's specials on TV that can also sometimes be fun. So
Yep.
I don't know. It's a fine holiday, if you
Yeah.
really
Um,
want to call it a holiday.
How about you, Jason?
my opinion towards Valentine's Day is pretty much the same as Clovis's, and
Yep.
that's just because I never really had so like I've never had a girlfriend
Well,
before.
hope
Like I never
one day you
before.
get lucky. I hope one day.
Yeah, I hope so too. In the meantime, I have my fictional character crushes to keep me happy.
Same here. Like you can see, in the middle of the left corner of the screen is my waifu, Major Dr. Gasway.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call my crushes waifus or anything like that because I'm more modest towards that kind of stuff.
I just see it as sort of,
I don't really take the waifu term all that seriously. To me, it's just kind of a joke term. That's why I use it.
yeah.
Yeah, but there are some people out there, the PC type mostly, who do take this kind of stuff a little bit too seriously.
Yeah. I won't say use the term like too seriously. I just use it as sort of like a fancy term for a fictional character you have a crush on, basically.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yep.
I'm
Oh,
probably the only person here who hasn't had a crush on a fictional character since when I was 3 years old.
Oh,
Who was
oh,
the
Nah,
special
probably a
someone?
lot older.
oh,
Who
oh,
was the? If you
yeah.
don't
Who
mind me,
was it? When you were free.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
if you don't mind us asking, who was the special someone when you were 3?
Yeah.
Hang on. 3 years old. I think that was. I don't maybe Misty from Pokemon. I don't know.
Well, my
Okay.
friend my friend Matthew Riley, who he's on Twitter, when he was 3, his first fictional character crush was on Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, okay. I think I may have also had a crush on one of the girls when I was I think in like first grade or something.
Mm.
I think it was never Blossom. It was either a Bubbles or Buttercup.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to thank Moonchild for the 99 cents super chat with the heart emoji. Thank you, Moonchild. Oh, and we see the big W partially a quote in the classic Animaniacs song Wacko's World. No, oh, Yakko's World, sorry. United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru. Can you do the rest, Jason?
I don't remember all of it, but I know that I'm jealous of Rob Paulson because he did that song in only one take.
I know, that's one of the most amazing things about him.
I know.
Yeah.
Republic, Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, even though the Caribbean is not actually a nation of the world. Green in El Salvador too. That's all. And I know that Colombia was one of them. And I know like the last couple lyrics were Panama, then Transylvania, and then I forgot what it was.
Oh,
I mean, I
that's
remember the medley. I remember the instrumental. It's just that it's hard for me to remember every single lyric of the song because it goes by so fast.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
in case you don't know, Barry,
Hmm?
the original soundtrack album for Animaniacs, which was released originally on CD and cassette back in 1993, was given a digital release this past October by Water Tower Music, the main Warner Brothers' in-house record label.
That's interesting.
Yep, I listened to the whole thing on my Echo Dot.
Okay. Uh, s- so, Jason, if you don't mind, since this stream was your idea, how about you get going with talk about your fictional crushes since we kind of started on that topic.
All right. Well, I figured I may as well also, while I'm doing that, provide some like the history of how this live stream came to be. I've mentioned this before in quite a few of my earlier videos, but I feel like I need to restate it here for those unfamiliar with me in my videos. Yes, I have crushes on fictional characters. I know it's embarrassing for many people to admit that, and I'll admit I was embarrassed about it before, but now I no longer feel ashamed about it,
Yeah,
since two of my closest YouTube friends, Brendan Miller, the cartoon and movie fan, and Sierra Kopsky, however that last name is pronounced,
right.
aka Princess Valentine, have had a lot of fictional character crushes as well. It's not something I'm going to ever mention in a casual conversation with my family or anything like that, but now I'm good enough to admit it if someone asks me about it. People always say to me that I have good taste when it comes to who I want my dream life partner to be. And most of the entries on my long list of fictional character crushes reflect that. This combined with the fact that this kind of video is a niche genre deserving more YouTube videos covering it, since there's only like what, 4 videos covering the topic on YouTube, gave me the idea to make a video where I share my feelings with all my loyal subscribers, provided that most of them wanted to hear them. Well, most of them wanted to hear about it. To
Yeah.
make sure that this was indeed the case, I posted a poll on my channel's community tab all the way back in June 2020, in which I asked my viewers if they wanted me to make a video about my top 10 fictional character crushes. And the vast majority of them voted, hell yeah. So here it is. I was originally going to make a top 10 countdown for my channel, but I don't have a computer or anything like that to make such a like a fully edited video like that. So instead, I suggested to Barry that maybe for our next live stream we could do, I could talk about that, and he said, "Well, all right, we'll see," and
Oh,
it became official.
okay. So,
All right. So
are you
now
ready,
that that
Clovis?
I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, let's get on with it, Jason. And then we're gonna
now
move
that
on to fictional relationships.
oh, I didn't get. Maybe later I could talk about my crushes.
Hmm. Okay. It's gonna take a while, right?
Um, I am assuming so.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about our stances on are some of our favorite fictional relationships essentially. Uh, I remember messaging to Clovis that probably share your stance on certain anime relationships since he's a huge uh weeaboo is weeaboo a touchy term to use, Clovis, or is it okay?
No, not really. I don't
Uh,
really care. I think it's a funny word anyway. I call myself a weeaboo because it's funny.
yeah. Okay. So do you mind Sarah? What you have to say about anime relationships, basically, or just fictional
Um,
relationships in general?
okay. I actually had to think really hard about this because eventually I came to realize that I don't know that many couples in anime that I really like all that much because okay, this is something that kind of applies to Western cartoons, but not nearly as much. I think it's a bigger problem in anime, and that is the fact that they take way too long for them to actually become a couple. And to me, I can't really take couples all that seriously when they're just in a position where they're not really in a relationship at all, and it's constantly a series finding an excuse for them to not be together, and I'm not really a fan of that. And
So this is the forces of evil in a nutshell. Even though I like that
oh,
show.
okay. I mean, well, to be fair, that show isn't really that long, so maybe I wouldn't be as bothered by it. And I think Marco and Star's relationship, sort of romance, I think only got established like somewhere around the middle of second season. So I might not even be that bothered by it. And even then, I think that show. One thing I will give is that in between when it was established that there was a romantic connection between them, and the actual point when they became a couple, in between that, both Marco and Star were already getting into their own relationships. Star with what's his name, Tom, and Marco with I forgot her name, but you know who I'm talking about, right?
Her name is Kelly. Oh, it's funny you bring Tom up because when I get to my actual countdown, he'll be an important part of it. You
Yeah,
can
I
sure
think I
of that.
remember the 3x3. But like, yeah, and yeah, what I was saying that if I had to think of couples that I like, and I guess we're specifically talking about anime, then
Or it could just be
maybe we
fictional in general.
okay, if it's fictional in general, that makes it easier.
Good.
My one of my favorite couples is actually Castle and Beckett from the show Castle. Um, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that show.
I've heard of it. It might have played in the background before a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a really fun show. I haven't watched every episode of it, but I've seen a fair amount of it, and like it's basically like a detective show, and I really like both Castle and Beckett. And what's interesting is that I mean, ever since the very beginning, it was already like very obvious that they would eventually become a couple. But even then, you can still like appreciate them as just friends, just because they have a really fun dynamic. with how Castle is a very sort of like crime enthusiast and a little bit of like a geek and stuff. And while Beckett is a lot more of a serious
Okay.
person, and they both kind of contrast with each other. Like there are parts of each other that they both admittedly appreciate. And once they became a couple, it was like pretty obvious that they would eventually become one. And it's also fun how both of them kind of over the course of the series, depending on the incident that occurs, they're not shy to call each other out for the flaws that they have. Like, for example, I remember when I first watched Castle, and I was very surprised by how Castle would just straight up like rant about stuff about he would like directly to her face like express dissatisfaction with certain things about her, because normally in a lot of crime shows, and I guess also non crime shows, is that there tends to be this habit of sort of like the heroine character being a character that usually is meant to better the main character. Like usually there's something about them. There's something about the main character that the heroine will always kind of point out, and them pointing out will be like a sort of motivation for that person to eventually become better. But that was basically what was happening in Castle, but it was the other way around. Castle is the main character, but he was the one that was calling Beckett out for stuff that he didn't think were good. And I kind of like that about it. Like they both point each other's flaws and stuff, which is cool. And yeah, it's probably actually one of my favorite couples, or if not my favorite, because they're very cute together.
Okay. So I'll let Jason share his thoughts on his favorite fictional relationships before I mention one that comes to my mind.
Oh, hold on. I'm trying to. I mean, I actually have some info on mine, and I'm just trying to look for the specific page I have where where it's talking about it. But
Okay.
I might as well. We'll try my hardest to improvise. Um,
Okay.
my my favorite fictional relationship is Steven and Connie in Steven Universe, and the reason why is kind of similar to why Clovis kind of likes his favorite fictional couple. So they start out as being friends, and there's always that there's always that little sense that they will eventually get together towards the end of the show. But the cool thing about it is that they actually they spend just a couple of 3 or 4-ish seasons of the two of them just being like these really really awesome best friends, and then the romantic context doesn't really super come in until around season more towards the end of the show, I should say. And one thing about it is that they one thing that I'm happy about is that they represent a pure relationship, the one that could survive basically anything. And even though their relationship becomes romantic towards the end, they still have that pure special, they still have that innocence there's still that innocence in their relationship, and I like that.
Cool.
Also, I just want to add one more thing about Castle and Beckett, and that is the fact that Castle is a novelist, and Beckett is actually a fan of his books. So that's really cool. Like he was a fan of his books even before they met each other. So that's also an interesting detail.
Okay. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna be mentioning or just talking about just one fictional relationship that comes to my mind, and it's from a show that I assume none of you have really watched yet, which is As Told by Ginger, the most underrated cartoon in my opinion, and it's of Ginger and Darren. So if you guys don't mind me spoiling, please let me know.
I'm okay with the spoilers. I'll probably forget everything you mention after the stream is over.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with spoilers.
Quote Bart Simpson, thanks to TV, I can't remember what happened 8 minutes ago.
Terrific. Okay, so basically with Ginger and Darren, they're like what you guys been talking about how we have these two characters, right? They start off as childhood friends, and then as the series go on, as the series goes on, they start to realize that there might be something there in each of them that they didn't see before. So
Beauty and the Beast reference.
yes, exactly. Yeah, so uh, they started out hinting what Ginger and Darren's relationship would escalate to as early as the season 6 episode Dare I Darren, where basically with Ginger and Darren and there's like talking and the kids were watching a home a student film on the pituitary gland, so it's basically sort of like a sex ed video, and popular girls Miranda and Mipsy were teasing about how Ginger and Darren could have a thing for each other, but they're kind of brushing it off, thinking that they're just friends, you know. And okay, excuse me, I'm just speaking from memory here. I need to rewatch a lot of that show as well. But uh, just to not make this go on for too long, is yeah, by the time Darren gets his huge braces off at the beginning of season 2, Ginger starts to become more attracted to him, and in the beginning of season 3, Darren realizes that he has feelings for Ginger as well, and they shared a kiss at the end of the 3-part season 3 premiere, and they started dating. But of course, it made Ginger's so-called friends Dodie and Macy jealous, and of course, you can watch my review on the episode Wicked Game, which I don't hate it as much, but still grinds my gears.
Just like Peter Griffin.
By the
Exactly.
way, are there any couples that you at some point liked, but then eventually something happened later on in the series that made you resent it?
Oh yeah, I have one. Let's see here. It's fun. You know how we were talking about Star versus the Forces of Evil?
Right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Star and Marco. I mean, I wanted them to be together, and I knew that they were going to be together by the end of it, but seasons 3 and 4 went out of their way to show how bad of an idea, like they were trying to convince you that it was a bad idea, and then towards the end of the show, like in the final few episodes, they were like, yeah, screw it, let's get them together.
Okay. And what you just said there, it kind of relates to what the rest I have to say about Ginger and Darren. So as you know, they become a couple in season 3, but by the time they enter high school, like they're off doing their different things. Ginger, she's starting up a band, and Darren is doing football. And as he's doing football, he meets up with this cheerleader named Simone, and he starts to hang out with her. And Ginger starts questioning like what's going on. And by the 54th episode, in the series, which of course is still part of that high school era, they break up, and Ginger is well, her heart isn't just broken figuratively, but also her appendix bursts as well. It's a long story, but yeah, and Ginger starts dating her bandmate Orion, which basically, he's sort of, I don't know, I don't really care for him. Like, I know there's some people who may sip ginger with Orion, or I think there's even some who sip ginger with Salsa, which was her summer camp crush. But he's just as lame. Uh, I see more chemistry in Ginger and Darren, and a major spoiler, at the very end of the series, we go all the way to the future and see that Ginger and Darren actually got married and had a child together. So things must have really worked out in the end. But if Ginger were to be revived, I'd like to see how exactly things got revolved between the two.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you Sorry if I wasn't being like super like explanatory when it came to talking about why I thought that like originally I thought that Starco would be a great thing, and then eventually it became like the relationship was basically ruined for me. It's just that I didn't want to spoil very much of Star for those who haven't watched it yet.
I actually haven't seen season 4.
Oh, season 4. You need to get your alcohol or whatever you use to calm yourself down ready. The season starts out all right, but then like in the halfway point, it reaches a really, really severe case of seasonal rot. Like, I'd say that Modern Family Guy is the only thing that Family Guy is the only show that declined in quality even worse than Star.
Really? I'll say the Fairly Odd Parents is much worse with its decline quality.
Actually, I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I actually like seasons 9 and 10 of The Fairly Odd Parents more than most episodes of seasons 6, 7, and 8 of SpongeBob. And the reason why was because at least the new crew behind The Fairly Odd Parents decided to try their hardest to keep the show the way it was, rather than trying to turn it into a completely different show like the new SpongeBob crew did with their show.
By the way, someone asked me if it's great to be positive. I need a little bit of context to that.
Yeah. And I see a question from BlueGal19 asking, how many waifus do you love besides Ghastly? Well, basically, I don't want to go on all day with it, but basically a lot. And with Disney alone, basically, if I were to make a waifu chart, like a collage of my cartoon crushes, I think Disney characters basically just deserve their own chart, separate from like a
Mostly the
variety.
movies, right?
Well, not just the movies, but also the TV shows as well. Like,
Oh,
there's
okay.
quite a few. Can I say MILF? It's not an offensive term, is it?
No, it's not.
Well, yeah, there are quite a few cartoon MILFs in the Disney family, like Trudy from the Proud Family, and also Phineas and Ferb's mom, Linda, and also H and K from The Replacements, and also Marco's mom from Star Versus.
Let's
Marco's mom.
wanna have
Oh, okay, I remember her. I remember her.
wanna have fun. Da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, so Shockman99 clarified by saying happiness. I mean, I guess happiness is something that we strive to be, so I'd say it's good to be positive. I don't know if you should necessarily force positivity. I mean, if you're feeling sad, you should allow yourself to feel sad, as long as you're willing to, you know, put yourself back up eventually. So I guess that's all I have to say. What a weird question, but I mean, whatever.
Yep. Okay then. I was just wondering if we could, if Jason, if you want to start talking about
I
your cartoon crushes,
Well,
since
actually, before he starts, I just want to give my example of a couple that I eventually ended up presenting.
yep.
Barney and Robin from How I Met Your Mother. Now, the
Okay.
reason why I eventually ended up presenting them isn't even necessarily because I think they're a bad couple. It's mostly because I won't get too detailed because honestly, if I had to rant about what happened in the last episode, I would literally take an hour. So I think it's best if I compress. Basically, the show, because you have the main character who's like Ted, and ever since 2 seasons prior to the finale, they reintroduced his romantic feelings towards Robin again. And when you watch season 9, which is the final season, it seemed like they were kind of addressing this fact and eventually kind of like it seemed like they were kind of like supporting the idea that they were not meant to be, because Robin was getting married to like Barney and stuff. And at the very like in the episode prior to the finale, there's even a scene where Robin asks Ted to run away, and he said no, because that was the moment he realized, wait, no, this is not something that should happen. And it seemed like that was the case, but then in the finale, they completely retroactively ruined Robin and Barney's couple by giving some excuse that for why they should break up and stuff like that. And it was a really bad excuse. And I mean, it was a complete
Cursed?
mess.
Were they blood moon cursed like in Star?
No,
I'm just joking.
no, I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people seem to describe Star Wars: The Force of Evil. It's just like it's poorly built up. That was more so the problem. Again, I don't want to get into it because I feel like the rant would be too big. But yeah, I think that's the one couple that I resented rooting because it eventually just ended up leaving in disappointment when they broke up.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of like what you're talking just now. It started like an alien language to me because I barely watched How I Met Your Mother. Like the one thing I know about it is that Neil Patrick Harris is in it, and I may be wrong, but I think Robin was she was a pop star at one point, right? Just like Phineas and Ferb's
Yeah,
mom.
she was a teen pop star.
Okay.
That career actually went through a couple of phases that was revealed later on. Like I think she eventually went through like a dark emo phase, which is pretty funny.
Dark evil phase. Does
No,
that
no,
mean?
dark emo, emo.
Oh, uh,
Ah,
okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, Jason, do you want to start with your crushes now?
yeah. That's good. That's good. All right. However, before I reveal my gushy feelings towards people I've only ever seen on paper or screen to the world, here's a very big warning for hypersensitive PC thugs. I've had crushes on fictional characters ever since I was 7 years old, and I just turned 18 a couple of months ago. Therefore, most of the quote unquote objects of my affection are teenagers, since I was a teenager when I fell in love with them. Just keep that in mind before calling me a pedophile or anything like that in the comments.
Oh,
And
you
if
can't
you
say that
do,
word, Jason. That's a no-no word.
oh, I was wondering about that
Yeah,
because I try to keep. I know that you try your hardest to keep these live streams as PC as possible. I mean, not PG as possible.
yeah. It's okay. I still probably still have words you have time to be careful with your words.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no calling me that. And if you do refer to me as such in the comments, that's not very cool, and I won't like you very much anymore. After all, I shouldn't be blamed for this predicament. The person who should be blamed was the one who thought that it was a good idea for cartoon characters to never age in universe, for the most part. I know there are like a couple exceptions, like Star versus the Forces of Evil. Star was aged up from 14 to 15, and of course, all the characters on As Told by Ginger started out in middle school and then switched over to high school.
Yep.
Well,
And also,
I mean, even then, the growth is not like progressive. Like usually there are like time skips. So
yeah. And
Yeah.
also, more recently, the characters in the Wild House aged up by 1 year. So that means Rory sees the one sister who's officially legal aged. She's 18 now,
wait,
I mean.
one age? Why only one age? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Couldn't they bump up like 2 or 3? Like one age isn't really that big.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I've seen a little bit of the newer episodes of The Loud House. I know that Lily can talk now, but only in third person. Like she refers to herself in third person.
Right.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's begin the countdown. Okay. Number 10. Miko Kubota from Glitch Tax, my most recent fictional character crush. I love her because she has so much positive energy. Miko always has something to get excited about. And although she is constantly frustrated by her nagging mom and obnoxious know-it-all coworker Mitch, she never lets her anger put her down for too long. Well, that is, except for that one episode where there was this kid who beat her at a high score for a video game that she was obsessed with when she was younger, and then she was trying really, really hard to beat that score again. But other than that, no, she doesn't really she doesn't get super angry for a long period of time. She's a go-getter, and I love girls who are like that in real life. Oh, plus Miko has ADHD, and since I have autism, I'm attracted to girls around my age who are neurodivergent. And before I move on to my next entry, I want to bring up what is probably the most awesome response I could have ever received towards me having fictional character crushes. Before this live stream was officially announced, I posted a thread listing and picturing all of my top 10 fictional character crushes on my Twitter account, and the tweet included in the thread featuring Miko got a like from none other than one of Glitch Tech's creators, Don Milano. Sorry in advance if I messed up the pronunciation of his name. I was extremely happy when I got notified about this, because to me, getting that hard from Miko's co-creator was basically the fictional character equivalent to a parent giving me approval to date his/her daughter. If Miko was a real person, I would have been the happiest boy on earth, as that fortuity would have allowed her to become my very first girlfriend.
Awesome.
I think
Right.
I've seen 2 episodes of Glitch Tex, so I'm kind of familiar with her. I know she's half Asian, so there's that.
Yep.
I mean, it's obvious from her name.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've seen all of the episodes of Glitch Text, although I didn't exactly pay attention to all of them, but still really a good looking show from what I saw. I know Norbert's a bigger fan of it than I am, and he really wants it to be saved because they ended season 1 and they don't know if they're doing a season 2.
Well, technically there are 2 seasons, but it's just the one season that they produced, which is like 20 episodes, the first of them being a 2-parter split in half.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Let's see here. Okay. All right. Number 9. So my first and so far only boy fictional character crush, Thomas Lucifer from Star vs. the Forces of Evil. Yay, we get to talk about that show again. For 15 years, I thought I was straight because all of my crushes from both fiction and real life were female. However, in 2017, a strange feeling began invading my gut whenever I laid eyes on a guy I had known for 2 years prior. At first, I didn't take this situation too seriously. After all, most teenagers don't know their real orientation until a year or 2 after entering puberty, or in some cases even longer. A couple of years later, however, I realized that my gut was trying to tell me something about myself that even I didn't know before. I'm actually bisexual. Because he helped me discover my true identity, I will always admire this special fella, even if I eventually lose my romantic feelings for him. Yes, I know what all of you watching this video are thinking. You have a crush on Tom, a literal demon with a hot swimmer body? But Jason, I thought you had higher standards than that. Well, I do. And I'll confess that I didn't really care for Tom during his first couple of appearances, when he was just an easily irritatable pest who tried to keep anyone else from going out with his former flame star. Pun seems to be intended. As the series went on, though, especially from season 3 onwards, he developed into a much more fleshed out and sympathetic character. Because of his genetic behavioral tendencies, I mean, he is a literal demon, and he has a bunch of a bunch of tormented souls literally living inside his body. Tom still occasionally flips out when things don't go his way, but he tries his hardest to control his anger and be a good friend to Star, and especially Marco, whose relationship evolution with Tom is seriously one of the most heartwarming things to happen on the entire show, as they go from being the bitterest of enemies to the best of friends. With Chet You Betcha from the Fairly Odd Parents in mind as I'm saying that.
I actually liked Tom when he was a hothead.
Oh, who doesn't love a hothead cartoon character?
I don't know. I just really like the idea that he had like he basically had like people just to keep him in check in case he went wild. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Due to my autism, I have very similar inherent impulses to the ones Tom has. So seeing somebody on television, and in a cartoon no less, being able to manage his inheritable temper and have meaningful relationships, even with people he initially had a strong hatred for, is very inspiring to me. I still primarily get crushes on girls, so Tom's sizzling body didn't catch my fancy like it did with those of other Star vs. the Forces of Evil fans who have a crush on him. But the direction the show's crew took him during the later episodes made me appreciate the horn-headed dude quite a lot. Oh, now that I bring this up,
Oh,
I actually have the official book of spells for Star versus the Forces of Evil,
oh, cool.
and inside it is an official guide to dating a demon. It's a little bit outdated considering the fact that it was written back when most citizens of Muni had a strong sense of apathy towards monsters, but it's still good. It's still good.
Oh, I
It's just dated. It's still good. It's still good.
okay. So I see that they basically made a real life book that's from a Disney channel. So just like what they did with Gravity Falls, when they made
Yeah.
journal number 3.
Yep.
I
Yep.
actually still don't know what happened to the history between Mewman and what's it called, the monsters. I still have no idea.
You should read the book. It has all the info you need.
I mean, I'm I'm gonna be honest. If you're telling the truth, I might actually just buy the book because I actually do want to know what happened because there was a lot of mystery surrounding a lot of the history and stuff. So, if I could just find out what happened by buying this book, then maybe I will buy it. Because I don't
Yeah.
know, people seem to hate season 4, so I'm like, okay, well, I guess I won't watch it since no one likes it.
Okay.
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 How about we move on, Jason, to the next one?
Uh. All right. Let's see here. Number 8. Number 8. Back. Number 8. Back. Number 8. Back. uh, it's a Simpsons reference if you didn't get it.
Oh, okay. Which
Okay.
episode again?
Homer's Barbershop Quartet, when Barney recorded a song that was basically a thinly disguised parody of Number 9 by the Beatles. You know, the song where it's just them going Number 9 and then random sound effects.
Okay.
So for this one, it's Number 8 on an endless loop, but with Barney belching. You know, it was trademark burps.
Yep. Okay.
Uh,
Thanks for letting me know.
okay. All right. All right. So, number 8, Anne Boon Choi from Amphibia, the show whose T-shirt I'm wearing right now.
Yep.
Another recent one. Anne is an adventurer who is determined to discover new things about the froggy world she's currently trapped in, and enjoys sharing things from her generation of human culture with her new amphibian friend Sprig. These two aspects of her character frequently get Anne into trouble, but with the help of Sprig's grandfather, Hop Hop, who's pretty much the only authority figure Anne has in her life right now, she always finds a way to resolve whatever problem is going on. Like I said, she can be irresponsible and mischievous sometimes, but in situations with potentially dire outcomes, she always sticks up for those who matter to her the most. And that's what I try to do when it comes to my family and closest friends. I also relate to her feeling like an outcast, but still trying to make a name for herself in the cold-blooded world she's currently trapped in. Again, because of her autism. I mean, not her, my autism, as well as her tendency to doubt herself whenever she needs to think outside the box in order to solve a problem. And I want her to be happy, and I want both of us to belong. And if COVID-19 and the alarmingly growing political divide have caused our society to decay to the point where I can't do any of those things the way us humans used to, then I will turn elsewhere to refuel my spirit. Yes, even if that place is a cartoon. Amphibia is the modern cartoon I've been binging the most of during quarantine because it really is that special of a show to me. During the days of my life when I felt bad because of the increasingly morbid events going on in the world right now, I've had Amphibia to provide me at least 22 minutes of pure escapism. And since my family has Disney Channel and Disney XD again, I can watch all the new episodes as soon as they come out. For season 1, I had to wait until it got added to Disney Plus before I was able to watch the show. Um, Season 2 is even better than the first season, which is saying a lot when you consider how much I love Amphibia based on the first season alone. Barry and I did an entire live stream about our current cartoon obsessions where I talked a lot about Amphibia. If you want to check that out, Clovis.
I
Yep.
actually haven't seen it. By the way, if I failed to respond, then I apologize because I was in the toilet.
Okay. Thank you for telling us that, Clovis.
Oh no, I wasn't actually doing the number 2. I was doing the number 1.
Just
Yeah.
make sure you don't whiz on the electric fence.
Yep.
Let's see here. Okay. Obviously, you most likely won't be attached to Amphibia as much as I currently am, but please give the show a chance anyways. There's quite a bit of enjoyment that even the most cynical of you viewers can get out of it. Okay.
I think I'm unironically one of those people.
I'm still 8 episodes into Amphibia.
I've never seen it.
It gets good. It gets really good.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Number 7. Melina from the Emperor's New School. Ah, yes, the sweetheart who has swooned over nearly all her male classmates at Cusco Academy. None more so than Emperor Cusco himself, whose unrequited love of that hottie accounted for over 110 11-minute segments worth of comedy, until she eventually grew to love Cusco in the series finale. It's not a sudden change of heart, though. Just watch the series all the way through, preferably on Disney Plus like how I did it, and you'll see for yourself. However, my appreciation for Melina goes way beyond her curvy exterior. She's a hardworking straight-A student who is essentially the only person who can easily get through Cusco's thick skull when he messes up on something. At the same time, though, Melina is not a Mary Sue, or in other words, a character who's perfect in every single way. On several occasions, Melina is so obsessed with being the best at everything that she does things that she isn't really proud of. Like in the episode Emperor's New Tuber, where she cheats at a potato growing contest by stealing one of Yzma's potions so she can make her potato grow really big in a short period of time. And in Girls Behaving Oddly, in which she considers playing a mean practical joke on her counselor after she gets an A, not an A plus like in the rest of her classes in PE, because she needs an A plus in all of her classes in order to maintain her status as a cheerleader in Cusco Academy. Ultimately, she doesn't do that. It's Cusco and Kronk who pull the prank. But still, Melina at least considered it, showing that she can be just as nasty as Cusco, whose foolish behavior is frequently mocked by her when she gets angry. I totally can relate to that. Just like Melina, I'm a very good student at school, and sometimes I get so obsessed with getting A's on all of my assignments that I spend hours just working on 2 or 3 assignments, making them as thorough as possible, while also simultaneously giving myself no time to chill out and have a break. Thankfully, I've never cheated on a test or tried to be hurtful towards my teachers whenever I don't do so well on my schoolwork, but there have been times when I considered it. However, with the support of my family, I always remember that nobody is perfect, and possessing this trait makes Melina more human than she would have been if she was just a perfect student whose job is to keep Cusco out of trouble. Many parents and feminism groups have called the show's portrayal of Melina sexist, but I honestly don't agree. Yes, she wears clothes that fit her a bit too snugly. She gets frequently called a hottie by Cusco, and her body is a metaphorical boy magnet, but there's a lot more to Melina's character than that. Now, I would be lying if I said that Melina's attractiveness didn't play a part in why I love her so much, but it's her brains and relatability that were the deciding factors. I'll admit it, sometimes I'm attracted to a girl solely because of her body, but I can only say that I truly have a crush on a girl if she's smart, funny, nice when appropriate, and or relatable. And Melina checks off at least 3 of those 4 boxes. Any comment before I move on?
Oh, I still ain't seen like a couple of Emperor's New School episodes since again Disney Plus, and basically it's a much better show than I thought it was back when it was airing like the same few episodes over and over again in rotation on ABC Kids back in the day.
Oh, you actually have ABC in Canada?
Well, yeah, we have all of the major American networks here in Canada: ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox, and even the CW.
Huh, that's interesting. So that means you got to see the replacements during its run on ABC Kids as well.
Oh, I wasn't into it back then, honestly, besides the theme song, and I thought the car was sort of an interesting character. But
Yeah,
in more recent years, I still haven't watched enough full episodes of it, but as I mentioned earlier, Agent K is one of my Disney crushes for several reasons. Attractive
yeah,
design and voiced by Kath Soucie, who's pretty much the queen of voicing cartoon MILFs.
pretty much. Um, I watched Emperor's New School and the replacements during their runs on ABC Kids because on Disney Channel they only aired it during late night times. Like most reruns of them only aired late at night. So yeah, I remember from 2007 through 11, ABC Kids was just an endless loop of the same 10 to 12 episodes each of not just Emperor's New School and replacements, but also Hannah Montana, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. And they had That's So Raven, but it was like 20 episodes that they reran because they had 2 episodes of it airing back to back in an hour-long block. The only thing on ABC Kids, like the only show on ABC Kids that continued to receive consistent episode updates was Power Rangers, as Disney kept on producing new episodes of it until 2009, and then they aired the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers during the 2009 to 10 season before they sold the show off to Nickelodeon. It wasn't too long after that that ABC Kids died a very painful death.
Now, what's boring educational no, educational television.
One of the most savage, that's a savage dig at Nick Jr. right there.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually wanting to upload that specific clip on my channel and sub-label it Nickelodeon making fun of their preschool block.
Or probably could describe the decisions that Cartoon Network has been making recently of adding preschool programming again.
Uh, oh yeah. Well, I actually didn't. I actually love Baby Looney Tunes, and I remember liking Crypto the Super Dog when it came to Cartoon Network's preschool stuff, and the Mr. Men show was okay too.
I constantly
Let's
forget
see.
that Soul exists. And it was only recent years I found out that there are some of the creative people behind As Told by Ginger who produced it. And I don't mean the studio Klasky Chupo, I mean like the developers of That's So, Eric
Yep.
Casemiro and Kate Boltier, can't pronounce her last name, but there are two
Oh.
of the developers of Ginger and two of the most frequent writers.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Let's see here. What was? Oh yeah. Mr. Men's show was also produced by Renegade Animation, the same studio that co-produced Hi Hi Puffy Amayumi.
Yep.
Let's see here. Okay, so let's move on to my next entry. Number 6, Harley Quinn from the Batman franchise. One of my earliest fictional character crushes, but not my very first one. I've been in love with Harley Quinn ever since 2012, when I watched Batman the Animated Series reruns on the Hub Network. Man, do I miss that channel. Discovery Family sucks. Originally, I was just attracted to her because of her body. Hey, I had just entered puberty then. Cut me some slack. But Suicide Squad, and especially Harley's live action solo film, Birds of Prey, gave me a lot more reasons to love her. Otherwise, she wouldn't have even been on my top 20, let alone my top 10. She's a bit of a nutcase, but that means Harley Quinn is a very carefree person, even though she nearly gets killed multiple times. Although she's usually seen by the people of Gotham City as a menace, she's not really a bad guy in the traditional sense, but rather more of an overly intelligent woman frustrated by her troubled life, thus making her an anti-authority trickster who dares to defy conventional wisdom and live life on the edge, with those who disapprove just as eager to, but always failing at taking her down. After all, Quinn was a former certified psychiatrist with a bogus childhood as an orphan in a creepy occultic boarding home, so hardly isn't a ditz like she may seem on the surface. Rather, she puts all her brain power into devising even more new ways to break every rule in Gotham. I mean, she was the only doctor who was brave enough, or foolish enough if you like to be cynical about it, that tried the impossible task of redeeming the Joker. I'm a big scaredy cat in real life, but there's still a part of me who wishes to be as bold and unpredictable as Harley. To quote an iconic scene from Wreck-It Ralph, just because you're the bad guy doesn't mean you're a bad guy. And Harley fits that moral compass to a capital T. Seriously, I think that Margot Robbie deserves an Oscar for her performance as Quinn in Birds of Prey, because that movie did an awesome job reinventing her character while also simultaneously retaining the core elements of why people love her so much. Her dangerous personality, her love for funny one-liners — she was originally the Joker's girlfriend after all — and her sympathetic character traits resulting from her tragic origin story. Oh, and also her sexiness. But just like with Melina, that's more of a perk than an actual reason why I dig her so much. Any comments?
Yeah,
By the way, I just wanna. Oh, sorry.
oh, I was just gonna tell you, Clovis, about, I know Harley Quinn seems to be a character you're sort of familiar with at least, because I remember in your review of Villainous, you compare Dementia to her.
Yeah, I am. I am somewhat familiar with her, kind of. I mean,
Yeah,
I know who she is, but I don't know if I've consumed that many content from her, to be honest. I need to read more DC comics.
Yeah.
I'm actually planning on, as soon as I get an HBO Max subscription, I'm planning on checking Harley's solo standalone animated series out on the service. I know that in that show, she's voiced by Kaylee Cuoco, Cuoco, or however that last name is pronounced. You
Yep.
may remember her from The Big Bang Theory, but I personally remember her as Brandy Harrington from Brandy and Mr. Whiskers.
Same here.
No,
Uh,
I mostly know her as Penny from The Big Bang Theory.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Moving on to my next entry. Some of you watching this video may be asking, hey Jason, do you have a crush on any of the Disney princesses? Well, as a matter of fact, I do. My princess crush is on a gorgeous redhead with a cute voice who is frustrated with her average life and thinks she knows everything. So she spends a good part of her spare time attempting to gain her independence. And that princess is Princess Candy from Dave the Barbarian. Psych!
Oh.
You thought I was gonna say Ariel, didn't you?
Yeah. And then I remember you did include Princess Candy in your quads of crushes, so I sort of seen the subversion coming.
Yep, it's a bait and switch in one of the most deceivious ways.
Yep. Okay,
well,
continue.
Well, I think Ariel is cute, but just platonic cute. Candy may have a sweet name, no pun intended, and looks like she lives up to her name on the outside, but in reality, she's one of the most feisty princesses in Disney history, and I love her primarily for that reason. Candy is a valley girl who's not afraid to tell the truth as it is, which is a very useful quality when you live with a family as crazy as hers. Dave is a wimp despite his muscular appearance, Fang is an animal-like wild child, and Uncle Oswidge is a self-proclaimed sorcerer who can never conjure up a spell properly. In spite of all that, though, Candy still loves her family, much like how people in real life can still find good in even the most annoying of their relatives.
Yep.
While not relatable as most of the next entries on my list, I still admire Candy for this aspect of her character. I'm also a snarky member of a big family who frequently gets on my nerves, but I still love my family regardless. The chemistry that Candy has with her relatives is also one of the biggest reasons why Dave the Barbarian is such a gut-bustingly funny show to me. Since Dave, Candy, and family are essentially exaggerated versions of real-life family dynamics. The know-it-all bratty sister, the timid younger brother, even though Dave is actually the oldest of the three children, the overly energetic little sibling who causes trouble for everybody else in the family, and the retired uncle whose only good quality seems to be emptying the refrigerator whenever it's overfilled. Candy is also obsessed with collecting toys, just like me, though I've mellowed it out in regards to my collecting habits in recent months. And she also gets grossed out very easily like I do. There's a lot of me in Candy, but I'm also a lot like Dave, since I too am a tall, heavy guy who easily gets scared. Though thankfully not quite to the same extent. So she's lower on the list than I previously expected her to be, simply because I don't always agree with Candy when it comes to Dave's wimpiness and idiocy, which might prove to be the nail in the coffin of our relationship if she was a real person and if I got to date her.
Okay. Oh.
Any comments?
Well, yeah, a simple one. Dave the Barbarian needs to be on Disney Plus already.
It is, but only in India.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did a tweet about it, and it got a boatload of likes and retweets, which I rarely get for a post on my Twitter account.
Wow, good for you. I wonder if there's any other semi-obscure Disney shows that are only available on Disney Plus overseas.
Well, the European version of Disney Plus, which was previously known as Disney Life, had American Dragon, Jake Long, and The Weekenders, two shows that have yet to be made available here in North America. But
Cool.
Jake is actually coming to Disney Plus on the 26th here in North America.
No way.
Yep.
Okay, that's great news there. Okay,
Yeah.
Continue, Jason.
Okay. Oh, did you also hear that the original Muppet Show is coming to Disney Plus this upcoming Friday?
Oh, I definitely heard. I'm real excited for that. I have the
Yeah.
first two seasons on DVD, and I don't have season 3 yet, but basically I'm
Even
happy that even though it took like forever, Disney is finally given the classic Muppet Show the attention it deserves with the last two seasons. So that means we
finally.
could watch the Star Wars episode again.
Yep. And let's see here. What else? Oh yeah, the reason why it took so long for it to be made available was because Disney. It was a licensing nightmare for Disney to make legally available, since they have to get permission from every single guest star to make their episodes available, or if the guest star is dead, their estates. And they also have to get the license for all of the music performances that were in the show.
Yep.
In fact, season 1 of the Muppet Show's DVD release suffered from a couple of episodes that had licensed music cut. Hopefully, it won't be the same deal when the show gets added to Disney Plus.
Yep, I hope so too.
Okay, moving on. Number, let me see which number are we on? Oh yeah, 4. Vanessa Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb. This will probably be the most personal entry for me to describe. I liked Vanessa ever since I watched her first appearance on television, which, for those unaware, was in the Phineas and Ferb episode Tree to Get Ready back in 2008 when I was 6 years old, but I didn't start liking her until 4 years later in 2012, around the same time I fell for Harley Quinn. However, unlike Harley, I love Vanessa now for the same reasons why I loved her 9 years ago. Vanessa is a chill hipster with divorced parents, and she struggles to get along with her dorky father. Good old Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz of Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated. It's not because her dad isn't. It's not because her dad isn't trying. He does, very hard in fact. but rather because Heinz still thinks of Vanessa as his little girl. So he frequently tries to get her to do things she finds too childish with him. The important thing that makes Heinz unique from most other animated dads, though, is that he actually listens to his daughter and tries to do better next time Vanessa comes to see him, rather than automatically forgetting everything once the conflict with his kid is resolved and the episode ends. If you would like a better discussion about Vanessa's relationship with her dad, Retro Nemo made a really good video about why Heinz Doofenshmirtz is the best dad in animation for the roundtable. But anyways, I relate to Vanessa's dynamic with her father quite a bit. My parents are also divorced, and my own dad acts an awful lot like Heinz, minus the whole mad scientist part, of course. So it's nice to see people near my age in a healthy relationship with their divorced parents on the small screen. Not only is Vanessa on good terms with her dorky dad, but she's also able to stay strong while simultaneously keeping her cool collective nature, as demonstrated by the lyrics in her signature song, I'm Me. And I admire those aspects of her character. In fact, she's the most level-headed of my crushes by a but not a wide margin, as most of the other entries on my list either have their heads a bit too into the clouds or lose their temper a little too easily. Not Vanessa, though, and she's in the top 4 of the apples of my eye because of her winning combination of strength and chillness. Also, get a load of those hips.
Though I don't think they match. They're on par with Windows hips.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Number 3, Lenny Loud from The Loud House. Perhaps my oddest choice. After all, many of you might want to respond to me saying I have a crush on her with, wait, isn't Lenny the dumb blonde? Well, my answer to that is both yes and no. Yes, I do think that there is a kid something like there is that Lenny has a disorder, if you want to call it that. Is me saying that offensive? Can I say that without hurting either one of you two's feelings?
Oh,
Because I have autism, and I know Barry does too.
right. Oh, what was that you just said, Jason? Sorry.
Is it okay for me saying that Lenny has a disability before? Is it okay for me to say that? Are you guys not offended by it?
I guess. Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I do agree about that. After all, she takes figurative language literally. Her master life's work is a 6-piece jigsaw puzzle, and she even has a hard time remembering her only brother's name. However, as in the case of Melina, Lenny is so much more than that. She's a fashion-loving 16-year-old who, just like yours truly, is a socially awkward teen just trying to fit in. Many people believe that Lenny is just stupid, but there's proof in the show that Lenny may actually have an irregular brain condition similar to my autism. For starters, taking figurative language literally is something many people with conditions like mine have. I'm personally much better at understanding idioms, metaphors, and whatnot than many other autistic people, but I still occasionally get confused on whether somebody is serious or just joking around on some occasions when he/she is talking about someone else or even myself. She's also really good at other stuff. Like in one episode, when she was told to make Lori's bed, she actually built a bed for her, and she also talks in a "OM gosh, so totes fab" style of speaking, which may simply be her own unique form of speech, which many kids with an irregular brain function actually have. But the biggest evidence to support this theory can be found in Driving Miss Hazy, one of my all-time favorite Loud House episodes, despite it being from the first half of season 1, generally seen by fans as the weakest era of the series. since it does a really good job exploring the full depth of Lenny's character. In that episode, Lincoln, tired of always having to ask Lori to drive him around places, decides to help Lenny earn her driver's license. A pretty standard sitcom trope that is one of the many overused plot devices given a unique spin by the show. When Lincoln and the rest of Lenny's siblings, who are also trying to help Lincoln out because they're also tired of having to ask Lori to drive them around to places they want to go, try to teach her to drive by using normal words that describe how to use a vehicle, she fails miserably every time. However, once they begin talking to Lenny in her own style of speaking, Lenny figures out what she needs to do. Kind of like how parents of kids with low functioning autism have to simplify and repeat instructions so their kids can understand them. Lenny ultimately doesn't get her license by the end of the episode because Lori sabotages the whole thing. I won't spoil the hows and whys, but she does eventually get her license later on in the show. Yeah, there might be a chance that Lenny really is just an idiot, but her being atypical, so to speak, is an interesting theory of mine that I honestly think has a lot of merit. Like I said earlier, I'm attracted to girls around my age who are neurodivergent like I am. So the theory of Lenny being autistic is definitely something that I'm really on board with. Seriously, go watch that episode. It may or may not cause you to support my theory, but it's still a really cute and funny episode for only being the first half of the show's third 22-minute installment in production order. Even if she is just a ditz, there's still a lot I like about her. She's the nicest of the Louds by far, as she only causes trouble for Lincoln or her other siblings by accident, and she's so friendly that she's willing to be chums with anybody, even her school's bully. Just like Lenny's special interest is fashion, which is almost all she ever talks about, kind of like how I have a tendency to only talk about cartoons. And she can be very timid at times, just like me. In short, Lenny is a lot more fleshed out character than you might think she is. I don't laugh at her, I laugh with her. And I love her sweetness and relatability. Whenever Lenny succeeds at doing something, I silently cheer on for her because she won by doing something her way. Who cares if she might be dumb? As long as she does the best she can and keeps being the big funny sweetheart she has always been, I will still love her. After all, you can only do your best. No?
Yeah. Before I give my own brief thoughts on Lenny, I just want to ask Clovis because he's been silent for this time being. What are his thoughts, or even like who is his favorite of the Wild sisters?
My favorite. I always liked the one who liked puns. I forgot her name.
Luann?
Yeah, her and the tomboy. Those
Lynn?
I think
Lynn
those
Jr.?
were my favorites.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was watching The Loud House, I kind of I thought I kind of consider all of them to be like around the same tier of like writing quality. So usually, who was my favorite? Like sometimes it depended on which episode I watched. So I don't know. If I had to pick, I'd say the tomboy girl and the punny girl.
Okay. I think the tomboy girl is Lin Lao Jr.
Yeah, exactly.
See here. Speaking of which, I watched one of TwistedDanns' most recent videos, and he said that he hasn't really watched too much of The Loud House since it premieres so many episodes within a ridiculously short time span. Like, they aired the entire first season within the span of only 2 months.
Did they actually do that?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, yeah, I did think that. I haven't even watched The Loud House since the second season, so.
Oh, it gets really good in season 3 onwards. It starts focusing less on Lincoln and more on the sisters, which I think is cool because, you know, Lincoln is a good character, but he's not like the absolute best of the Loud siblings, in my opinion. It's nice to see the other siblings get some focus. Let's see. I haven't actually watched any of the Loud House since the season 3 episode Racing Hearts, and I really should. It's just that I'm waiting for the show to I want to watch the other episodes. I'm just waiting for them to come out on DVD. I own the first 2 seasons of the Loud House through their North American DVD releases, and currently I've been binging through season 1. I only have like 5 episodes of it left to watch.
Okay.
Okay. All
Oh,
right.
wait, I just want to say, my comments on Wendy, briefly, she was actually one of the reasons why I became interested in the Wild House. I thought, she was adorable both in design and with personality, and she is my favorite of the Wild siblings as well. And Wuan's also a very close second. They're both, uh, they're both very cute in their personality and so forth.
Same here. Lenny may be extremely naive, or, like I said, if you want to be cynical about it, stupid, but she's such a big sweetheart that I think it compensates for that.
Yep.
Oh, I just got notified that I have low battery, so,
Oh,
I'm I'm letting my, I'm just talking to my stepbrother. He's gonna get my charger for me.
oh, okay.
I
Well,
might have to switch the filming location because I don't have like my tripod is right. It's not right next to the outlet I use to charge my phone. Okay, so we only have
okay.
2 more entries left. No, number 2, Ilana Lunis from Symbionic Titan. I already talked about my love for this girl on my list in 2. I already talked about my love for this girl on my list in 2 of my previous videos, so I'm going to keep this summary as brief as possible. Ilana is the former princess of the faraway planet of Galuna, who retreated to Earth after the hostile takeover of her home planet and imprisonment of her dad, the king, whose actual name has never been revealed, by foes the Mutradi. While there have been some scenes and a full episode, Under the Three Moons, to prove that Ilana misses her home and especially her father, she usually doesn't let her bad feelings get to her. Au contraire, Ilana is the most cheerful and kind-hearted of Symbionic Titan's titular duo. No, not duo, trio, which is why she's, well, the heart of her team. She's also smart. After all, she once said she believes that education helps create a great society. Athletic. Why else would she be on Sherman High's soccer team? And brave. I mean, she's frequently put herself in danger in the name of helping others, for goodness sake. In other words, Ilana is a strong, positive female role model, just like how her creator Gendy Torotoski wanted her to be. And that's my ideal kind of mate. In fact, Ilana probably would have been number 1 on this list had it not been for one other. But before I go to number 1, let me know your thoughts.
Well, I know
Elana,
Clovis is
of everyone on,
I know Clovis
sorry.
is a bigger Semi-Octane fan than me, so I'd like to know have him share his thoughts on Alana.
Yeah, I was going to say out of everyone on this list, I don't know who number 1 is, but I'm going to assume that Ilana would probably still be number 1 if I had to pick if I had to pick everyone on this list. She's probably my favorite because yeah, I like her too.
Oh,
Yep.
speaking of which, happy late birthday to Tara Strong, the voice of Ilana. Her birthday was yesterday.
Yes, I know.
Oh, you knew about that already?
Yeah, and I even tweeted a little GIF that I made of Unikitty that I actually drew in a previous live stream, but I didn't get to tweet it yet until now.
Oh, that's cool. Speaking of whom, when Symbionic Titan turned 10 years old on September 17th of last year, I did a tweet about it and I brought up how I had a crush on Ilana, and Tara Strong actually liked that tweet.
Yeah, I know. Good for you. And you know how I feel like whenever Gray the Wild Griffin likes whatever tweets I have to make about Major Dr. Gasway.
Okay. All right. No more stalling. Drum
Okay,
roll, please. Oh,
okay.
wait. Let me adjust my tripod a bit. Drum roll, please. And my number one fictional character crush of all time, who has held this honor ever since 2016, is Lapis Lazuli from Steven Universe. To fully understand my romantic feelings for this
Wait, hang on. Who? Who exactly?
Lapis Lazuli from Steven Universe.
Lapis. Oh, is that the blue girl? Okay.
Yes.
Now I see. Okay.
In case you need a visual reminder, here she is right here.
Yep.
Peridot, don't turn me into a marketable plushie.
I,
If you see someone in the background, that's my stepbrother Richard.
I thought so. Hi, Richard.
What happened to the camera? It looks a lot better.
I had to move that because I needed to put my phone on the charger.
Oh, this one actually looks a lot better.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. To fully understand my romantic feelings for this anthropomorphic space rock, you're going to need a lot of context. On the surface, Lapis just seems like a sarcastic grouch who always gets too sensitive over anything that could have hurt her, though she has gotten better with controlling her feelings as the series went on. However, there's a lot more to her character than that. Trapped in a mirror for 5,000 years, then abused by vicious army gem Jasper, Lapis is a gem who had to deal with a lot of personal stress and used to be pissed off at pretty much everyone and everything because she never knew how to have a healthy relationship. However, with the help of trustworthy optimist Steven and her new roommate Peridot, Lapis recovered from her post-traumatic stress disorder and got the courage to become an official crystal gem. Many die-hard Steven Universe fans have harshly criticized Lapis, claiming that she was a character of wasted potential who took forever to finally get over her trauma. But I don't fully agree with those criticisms. While I do wish that Lapis got more screen time, I don't think it took too long for Lapis to recover. Even though Steven Universe's original run was 5 seasons spread over approximately that many years, the time span was only a year and a half in the show's world, and it sometimes takes quite longer for someone with PTSD to fully recover. Therefore, Lapis is actually lucky to have gone through all the stages of healing in that amount of time. Of course, as important of a character Lapis is to today's society, there's a chance that if you were to remove the whole depression aspect, she would be a bland character. I'm not one of those people who think that, though. Ever since her true character traits were defined in Season 3, which was premiering new episodes when I started regularly watching Steven Universe, I've always viewed Lapis as the most relatable of my crushes. Lapis is sarcastic, I'm sarcastic. Even after her recuperation, Lapis tends to feel socially awkward, just like me. Lapis has a tendency to think she knows better than everyone else. So do I. And although I've never been abused, I know Lapis's struggles with trying to stay positive. In today's misguided crapsack world, which until recently was led by a president who had no idea what he was doing, I find it difficult to find anything good in our world. In fact, I sometimes feel hatred towards myself because I think that everything in my life was handed to me on a silver platter, and everybody will come after me if I cause accidents. After all, I am a white male living in a country that controls 95% of the world's wealth, and pretty much everybody who isn't a white American male blames white American males for all our world's problems. Believe me, I try really hard to break those preconceptions, but it's not easy when you essentially have a painted target on your back. I try to be the best person I can be, but that doesn't mean I agree entirely with the left wing's point of view. In fact, Steven Universe, and Lapis especially, helped me recover from a depression of my own. In the summer leading up to my first year of high school.
Wait, Jason just left.
I think he cut off.
Oh, Probably his battery.
Yeah.
Uh,
I assume he was charging it.
yeah, yeah. That's why he like moved the camera so he could charge his phone.
So maybe he switched it.
Yeah,
He
maybe.
might be using another device now.
Okay. Well, while we wait on Jason, explain like your thoughts on. It probably doesn't have to be Lapis. Any favorite Steven Universe characters?
Mm, I do like Lapis. I also like Peridot. I like Garnet. I think she's pretty cool. I think everyone likes Garnet.
Yep.
I like Pearl did become a little bit dry later on, but I actually that might not even be true because apparently in season 5 it was revealed that she knew some things about Pink Diamond, so maybe that's not true. But I like Pearl at the beginning. But then she kind of became a little less relevant later on. But I don't know, maybe that's
Okay.
just the impression I got.
Oh, I
But I
see
still like
Jason's
her.
back.
Oh, okay.
Um, Jason, are you
Who
there?
else? I don't think he's there. Because
Oh,
I'm seeing the Skype window and it doesn't show him anywhere.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Well, I mean, if I had to talk about my crushes, it's actually the list is actually a lot shorter. Um, there's Juniper Lee and Kiva. Those were the main ones when I was a
yeah.
kid.
Mhm.
Do you know Juniper Lee? Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. Like the most I
Oh,
saw is
that's a
like a
shame.
promo long time ago on Telltale, and maybe the theme song as well.
It's a real shame. I thought it was cool back then, and
Yeah.
also Kiva from Megas XLR,
Okay.
um, which is interesting because looking back at both those girls, they're not really drawn in an art style that I like all that much.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, seems like just Jason's still missing an accent. Mm.
By the way, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on one thing.
What?
I know you say that Major Dr. Ghastly is best waifu in all of the Maxwell Adams, Billy and Mandy slash Evil Concarne universe, but I
Right?
disagree. I think Eris is number one.
Oh. Uh. Oh. Oh. What'd you say, Clovis? Sorry.
Oh, I said Eris.
Oh yeah. I was attracted to Eris at first of all of the characters in the Maxwell Adams universe. But then, uh, I don't know. It's basically in 2017 when I was doing this collage art of the original cartoons, and I was looking at Evil Concarne pictures for reference, and then I saw some like ghastly fan art that's much let me just put it as much more revealing than she tends to be on the ever tends to be on the show itself, and from there, my love for her, like not just for her looks but also as a character, my appreciation just grew from there. Although I think my attraction to Gasly did exist like even years before, but not as strong as it would become.
Oh. I mean, I do think Eris is attractive, but I also like her as a character because she's very entertaining to watch. She's a, she's one of those characters in Billy and Mandy that because a lot of the like monsters or creatures or whatever in Billy and Mandy, they're based on mythical beings,
Right.
but their personality don't usually
Yeah.
fully
Okay.
reflect the kind of like nature they're supposed to impose. But
Yep.
Eris is like the god of chaos, and she's always chaotic,
Hmm. Okay.
and I really like that about it. It makes her kind of unique in her own way.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to say before Jason tries to come back?
I don't think so. I think that's all.
Uh, okay. Mm. Uh, probably I should leave a message, type in a message asking where is he. Uh, just give me a second. Okay. Mm-mm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Out of curiosity,
Yeah.
will you do anything tomorrow? Because I'll probably just stay at home.
If I'm doing anything tomorrow for Valentine's Day, well,
Yeah.
basically, I'm gonna see if I have time to watch Be My Valentine, Charlie Brown, well, actually, I can't remember if you're actually seeing oh yeah, I do remember you are seeing like the live stream itself on YouTube. Like you can see a little GIF of Snoopy making a Valentine. Like I plan on rewatching that.
Oh, okay.
And also,
Um,
what was that?
no. You can continue.
Okay. Yeah, also, I already posted some art of to celebrate Valentine's Day, and it's basically of my other big cartoon crush in recent times, which is Zandra, the goddess of adventure from Legends of the Three Caballeros. Which, if you don't know, it's on Disney Plus. It's based on that one Donald Duck movie that some people remember, but most people like don't. But yeah, it has a series of 13 episodes on there, and Zandra basically became an instant crush for me, like one of my favorite things about that show. And as I said in my review of the show, it helps that it helps that C's voiced by Gray DeLisle. Basically, if you want a character to be guaranteed waifu material, have Gray voiced her. So yeah, I basically did fan art of Zandra with her bow and arrow, sort of acting like Cupid, but I subtitled her the goddess of love, and that's my Valentine's Day wish. And also I did a speed paint as well, which was recorded in Clip Studio Paint directly, which is my art software. And let me tell you, it saves me a lot of time and storage space on my computer when I'm making my speed paint videos. And
Oh,
so I already put up the speed paint on on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm gonna put it up on YouTube as well. Only I'm gonna edit to make sure that it's widescreen instead of the same aspect ratio as the art itself.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's basically mostly working.
Uh, what is the live stream?
The your plans for tomorrow. Because
Yeah.
I think I'm in a similar position because I made this challenge where I write a book ish in once every 2 weeks, and the deadline is next week on Friday, but I haven't started writing anything yet. Now, thankfully, this time I only have to write a 2,000 word story, which is actually not that long, but I haven't written anything yet. I don't even have any ideas. So I think tomorrow will be the day I have to force myself to brainstorm something because the
I'm
deadline is
I'm
coming.
back.
Oh, Jason, welcome back. We're worried
Oh
about you.
yeah. Okay. I gotta go. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I'm coming up. I'm going upstairs right now. The reason why I was cut is because my parents monitor how much screen time I have.
Right?
So it said that it reached my limit on. I reached my time limit on Skype, even though I don't like, even though I wasn't done with finishing what I was trying to say. I only have 20 more minutes left, and then I have to go.
Oh, okay. Well,
Finish what
basic.
you were saying. Finish what you guys were saying, and then I will finish what I was going to say about Lapis.
Oh, okay. But before you do, I see that 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 Fairy Princess Valentine has a comment for Twisted Dance. She says, read my crush with in those three comments and tell me your thoughts on my top 10 crushes. Well, I'll read them out.
Okay, let me check the names.
Yeah.
Oh,
Me,
okay.
Clovis will be so confused because I don't think he recognizes most of them.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'm trying to look for the comment.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, if you can't find it, Clovis, I'll look for it since I'm in the live dashboard and it shows me like pretty much all of the comments from
Yeah,
when the
because
stream
I
started.
think I remember the comment, but for some reason I can't find it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to. I need a reminder.
Okay. Okay, so Fairy Princess Valentine's cartoon crushes include Bruce Wayne, or sorry, Batman, primarily
Uh-huh.
Bruce Wayne and Terry McGinnis, and Superman, Clark Kent, so it's pretty much a tie between those two. Also, Professor Utonium from the Powerpuff Girls, and number 8 is a tie between Tadashi and Hero from Big Hero 6, and number 7 is Robin from Teen Titans, any version, but primarily the original. And number 6 is Danny Fenton, aka Danny Phantom. And number 5 is, what was that?
I was just he's a phantom.
Yep.
It's funny you brought up Danny Phantom, Sierra. I mentioned it in a previous live stream, but Richard over here, his first and only fictional character crush so far is Ember. He really likes her song in the episode "Fanning the Flames."
Cool. Okay. Uh, her number 5 crush is Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! And number
Okay.
4 is Lance from Symbiote. And number 3 is uh, Takashi and Keith from Voltron Wednesday Defender. It's a tie again. And number 2 is Jen from Tekken, that video game that Clovis said he played, right?
Uh-huh.
Yep. And number 1 is Samurai Jack.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Superman and Batman, Clark and Bruce. They're both cool. I do like Bruce more, but I think they're both cool characters. People like saying that Superman's boring, and I disagree with them. Um, who else? Also, I assume that this person is referring to Batman from one of the animated series, but if I had to pick the one that I'm the most familiar is the one from the Christopher Nolan movies, and I think that one is pretty cool. And yeah, I do like the way that his character was explored. It's probably like the most I've ever connected to Bruce as a character. So, who else was there? I remember who else was on the list? Lance from Symbionic Titan.
Yep.
Um, Probably my favorite character in that show. So,
Well, that's another thing.
I agree with you there.
That's another thing Sierra and I have in common. We both have a crush on one of the two main Moonus siblings from Symbionic Titan.
Okay. I also remember Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm not too familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh, but I do remember I watched that as a kid, and I did like the fact that Yugi was this dude who, basically a kid, but then every time, I don't know if it was doing the math. I don't remember Yu-Gi-Oh very well, but I do remember that at some point he like looked older and stuff, and I thought that was pretty cool. I always projected myself into that, so I can respect that as well. Who else? Who else was on the list? Samurai Jack, obviously, like S tier character. Don't even really need to comment there.
Yep.
I never really got that into Samurai Jack. I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I've always preferred Symbionic Titan. Actually, now that I bring it up, Barry and I both share an unpopular opinion where we both think that Dexter's Laboratory and the Hotel Transylvania trilogy, primarily the first movie, were the best things that Genndy Tartakovsky have made.
Yep, that's true.
Dexter, I would probably agree if we weren't counting seasons 3 and 4. So
unpopular opinion. I actually don't think that seasons 3 and 4 of Dexter are really that bad. They're certainly a lot better than most episodes of the 2016 Powerpuff Girls.
I mean, I don't think they're bad either, but I just prefer the earlier seasons, especially in terms of the aesthetic. Like, I definitely resonate with the 90s look a lot more
than the 2001 to 3 one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
They
Jason,
also changed voice actors. That was
the only one that they actually changed was Dexter. His original voice was Kristen Canova, but since she retired from voice acting in 2001, she was replaced with Candy Milo, who also voiced Snap in Chocso.
Yep. And with Dee Dee, they switched back and forth between her first voice actress and her second voice actress.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
I like the second voice actress more.
Yeah, because she's been in more episodes.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
So
yeah, Jason. You how about you finish up your list? Cause I know your time is limited.
All right. So, like I mentioned earlier, Steven Universe, especially Lapis, helped me recover from a depression of my own. In the summer leading up to my first year of high school, I entered a state of negative emotions, which made me feel like I wasn't doing enough to heal the world, and for 2 whole weeks, nothing could cheer me up. I tried listening to my favorite songs, reading my favorite books, playing my favorite video games, and watching my favorite movies and TV shows, but nothing worked. Finally, one bright morning in July of 2016, I was half-heartedly channel surfing to see if anything good was on, but none of my favorite shows were airing at the moment. As a last resort, I changed the channel to Cartoon Network, who was airing an episode of Steven Universe, which up until then was a show I wasn't really into, but decided to give another chance. And the episode in particular was Alone at Sea. Suddenly, almost as if by chance, I discovered her, that blue-colored gem with water powers and a knack for wisecracks, Lapis Bob Lazuli. She was face-to-face with some buff orange gem named Jasper, and something inside her gave Lapis the guts to stand up to this beast and tell it she doesn't want to continue their toxic relationship anymore. That powerful scene plucked all of my heartstrings and made me think, hey, I kind of like this Lapis girl. Of course, that was before I knew that gems have no gender. Yes, Lapis was the one who got me into Steven Universe. And with the help of my dad and stepmom, who bought me both of the show's 2 compilation DVDs that were released in the United States up to that point, Gem Glow and The Return, as well as the Guide to the Crystal Gems book as birthday presents, I began fully immersing myself in the universe of, well, Stephen Courts de Mayo universe. This time, the pun was totally intentional. And within a year, SU took Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends' sacred #1 spot on my list of favorite Cartoon Network shows. In a sense, I guess you could say that Lapis cured my depression. As a result of the important impact she gave me, Lapis will always be my #1 fictional character crush. In many regards, she's essentially an animated version of me. And as the old saying goes, if you can't live with yourself, who can you live with? Unfortunately, her drama with Jasper may have permanently ruined her desire to be in a romantic relationship. But to quote Mr. Potato Head, when he was trying to see if one of Andy's birthday presents was a Mrs. Potato Head in the first Toy Story movie, hey, I can dream, can I? And of course he did get Mrs. Potato Head at the end of the movie, at the end of the first movie, though she doesn't actually appear within the Toy Story franchise until Toy Story 2. That's the reason why I wanted to make this video so much. As strange, I wanted to do, I thought that this was a video I wanted to make. As strange of a concept as it was, to me, if our society can no longer make us happy, then it's okay to look elsewhere, even to a cartoon. And if you're unable to get the girl or boy of your dreams in real life, then I think it's okay to pretend you found your real girlfriend
Yeah.
slash boyfriend with fictional media, as long as you're not doing anything illegal or harmful. Trust me, you know what I'm talking about. My parents say that I have really good standards when it comes to consent, but you don't have to take their word for it. After all, for most of this video, I've been praising my crushes for their intelligence, sense of humor, kind-heartedness, and relatability, rather than just their physical appearance. In fact, I didn't even talk about their physical appearance at some of my crushes' physical appearances at all. And those four qualities are what truly make a girl attractive, right?
Yep. Okay, thank you for sharing all of your in-depth thoughts on these favorite female characters of yours.
And one man.
Yep.
All right. So, we need to get to the end of this live stream really soon because
Yeah.
I already had something that I was planning on doing at the end of it.
Okay. Well, basically, I just want to say that you guys, your family should invest into a great computer, and you should do some video editing skills and get yourself a good video editor because I think you have potential in making good content like all of those successful cartoon reviewers.
Yeah, I want to. It's just that and my mom, my biological mom who lives over in Oregon wants to buy me a computer to do editing stuff with. And I might actually take the lazy route of simply recycling some audio from this live stream and just make a couple of final editing touches to make sure the audio is good, and also make some minor changes to the script if I need to, because I wrote this whole script for this live stream with it being a fully edited top 10 video in mind. And I'm hoping that I'll eventually get around to turning that into an actual special video, maybe for next Valentine's Day.
Okay, maybe. So we have I say we have about 5 minutes left. Jason, I know you want to end off the stream by singing a
A
song,
song.
a romantic theme song from a cartoon.
Well, not a romantic theme song, just a romantic song.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I meant
Yeah.
to say
I did a
themed as
poll.
the adjective.
I did a poll a couple months ago for the live stream before it was officially announced, where I allowed my viewers to vote on a love theme song from a specific cartoon for me to sing at the end of this live stream. And so the runner-ups were "Love It's in My Heart" from GarageBand, the Jam song from Steven Universe, "Stardust" from the Flintstones, and "You Snuck Your Way Right Into My Heart" from Phineas and Ferb. They were it was that order from lowest to highest on in terms of how many people voted on each one of them. My
Okay.
number one, and the song the song that won the poll, which is the song I'm gonna sing, is "Can I Borrow a Feeling," originally performed by Kirk Van Houten, voiced by Hank Azaria, from the Simpsons episode "A Millhouse Divided."
One of my favorites.
Yep, mine too. Barry recommended a video to me recently about the history of Kirk Van Houten. I started watching it, but I didn't finish it yet.
Okay. Yeah, I used to watch more of the real Jim's videos. He's an excellent Simpsons reviewer.
Yep, The Simpsons, for those of you who aren't longtime subscribers, is not only my favorite cartoon show, but my favorite television series. Period. So I'm definitely excited to sing this very special song for nine very special ladies and also one very special guy.
Okay.
Oh, let's begin.
Here we go.
Can I borrow a feeling? Could you lend me a jar of love? Hurting hearts need some healing. My hands with your glove of love. Ba-da-da-da-ba. How about it, Luann? Will you marry me again? Ooh, no.
Yep. Okay.
They eventually did get remarried, but it wasn't until like 20 seasons later, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Well, I would imagine that I would probably be in that exact same situation if I sang that song to one of my fictional character crushes. And, you know, if they were old enough and I was old enough for both of us to get married, I would go over and say, would you marry me? And then they would probably say no, because, you know, I don't think, like, all of the girls who I've said I've had crushes on in real life, when I talk to them about it, they've said that they just think of me as a friend.
Yeah. Jason, I just want to mention, like, while you're singing the song, for some reason on my end, the stream was acting, waggy. So I'm sorry if, you guys didn't get to hear him.
Oh.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to say that having a crush on a cartoon character isn't actually that unusual. Everyone had it at some point, whether
Yep.
they want to admit it or not.
I know. It's just something that people don't like bring up casually.
Yeah. As long as you keep
It's
in mind
weird because
that,
I think
as
that's not
long as
really
you
the
keep in
case
mind
with
that they're
me.
not real.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it seems weird. Like, I would say, like, if I talked to someone in a casual conversation about it, he or she would probably say, "Wait, you have a crush on a drawing?" Basically.
Yep. Oh, what were you saying, Clovis?
What I was gonna, oh, okay, I remember. I think it depends on when you had the crush, because I mean, if you say to, I don't know, a friend or something that you used to have a crush on someone when you were younger, I think I don't think they're gonna have like a strong reaction to it. They're probably just gonna think it's normal. I don't know. Maybe I'm conveniently hanging out with better people somehow.
Well, I am technically a younger person, so I can't really say that unless it's on a crush, like it's for a crush that I like a character that I used to have a crush on, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for this great discussion that we had, both Jason and Clovis. Uh, we're gonna be wrapping up right now, so I want to wish you two from now happy and safe Valentine's Day, even though you don't really t go too crazy to celebrate it.
Well, like I said, it's just because that I don't actually have like an actual somebody I'm dating right now. But you know, there's always pretend.
Yep. Okay. So you mind saying goodbye in a funny manner.
Um, Ghastly, quick before I bust a gut.
Yeah, that was from The Trouble with Scarito, one of the funniest episodes of Evil Concarne.
Also, that audio appears in the Cartoon Network Studios logo for that episode. Every episode from season 1 of Evil Con Carne had a different random quote from the 3 segments that were featured within said episode appearing in the Cartoon Network Studios logo during the credits.
Yep, I know. Clovis, you mind us saying goodbye?
I hope everyone has a date for tomorrow, because I have to work tomorrow. And by work, I mean writing bad stories. So I hope you all have a better day than than me.
Fan fiction?
Oh,
Fan fiction? Because I don't think that
But
was that
no,
bad.
no, it's not. It's not. No, it's original fiction. I don't write fan fiction.
Oh,
okay.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm excited for tomorrow because I have 2 special cartoon marathons I'm gonna check out. This yesterday, Disney XD aired Star versus the Forces of Evil for the first time in like a year. And it was all episodes focused on Star and Marco's relationship. So I had them, like, they were doing like a special Valentine's Day marathon where every weekday they would show like marathon of a show focused on one specific couple. Like they did Phineas and Ferb episodes focusing on Finabella, and they did a marathon of Gravity Falls episodes focusing on Pacifica, Pipper, however you want to call the ship between Dipper and Pacifica. And they did a Starco marathon for Star versus the Force of Evil. I didn't get to actually watch it live. I have it all DVR'd, and I'm gonna watch it, the marathon, even though I already watched the entire series 3 different times. Once on TV, once when the series was available to stream on Hulu, and the final time for Disney Plus. As you could probably tell, by now, I'm a really big Star versus the Forces of Evil fan, even though season 4 was pretty lousy overall.
Yep. I barely watched any of the show myself. If anything, I'm still stuck at season 1, the first couple of episodes. But I'm not gonna go on about that. Thank you, Jason and Clovis, for this great conversation that we spent 2 hours on.
Yep. And as for the second marathon I'm watching, tomorrow afternoon, MeTV, a local broadcast network dedicated to airing just classic television shows, is airing a mini marathon of episodes of The Flintstones focusing on Fred and Wilma's romantic relationship with each other.
Cool.
Yep, it's part of a big marathon that they're doing where they have a couple of mini marathons for a lot of their shows. The Flintstones is the only animated one that's regularly featured on their schedule, but they also air Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, and Popeye just on Saturday mornings, though.
Yep. Okay, thanks for the info, Jason.
Yep.
Take care now.
Yep. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Goodbye,
Good night.
everybody.
Goodbye, Dr. Nick. Okay, everybody, thank you all for tuning in to our Valentine's Day special. Thank you for your comments and so forth. And for just being a cool audience in general. What do I have planned for my next live stream? We'll just have to wait and see. And I see that Fox Pixar Media has been mentioning Chucklewood Critters a lot throughout the stream. But yeah, basically I have no familiarity with it, but maybe someday I'll check it out. So yeah, to everybody who celebrates Valentine's Day, I wish you a safe and happy one. And stay tuned for whatever else I have to share. And be sure to follow my guests, Jason and Clovis. Their social media links are in the description. And that's about it. Take care, good night, and happy Valentine's Day weekend.